If every new client in your business still requires you to personally show up, personally follow up, personally close the deal, you don't have a sales problem. You have a structural problem, and I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. So stay with me because by the end of this video, you're going to see the three-part system that removes the founder, which could be you, from the acquisition process without removing the founder, or again, you, from the business. My name is Joanna Shero, and I'm the founder of the Growth Gap Company, the creator of the DABAO framework, a revenue infrastructure methodology I build running two companies where every single client relationship can run directly through me. So I know the challenge. I've worked with expert led businesses doing 500,000, 2 million and above, and the pattern is always the same. Not the industry, not the offer. The founder is the entire acquisition system. That's the problem we're solving today. So here's what I see over and over again. A founder builds a great business, real revenue, real reputation, right? Clients get results, word spreads, and then they hit a ceiling. That's what I call like the growth gap. Not because the market dried up, not because the offer is weak, because the way clients come in and convert still runs entirely through the founder. So you're the one answering the DMs. You're the one in every discovery call. You're the one following up because no one else knows what to say. And when you step back, even for a week, the pipeline goes dry. Now, this is not a marketing problem. That is a founder dependency problem. And more marketing won't fix it. More content won't fix it. Hiring a new VA won't fix it because none of those things addresses the architecture. So think about someone who has a level of expertise, authority, the level of reach, the ecosystem that was built, right? That doesn't happen because he personally or that amazing leader doesn't personally closes every client. It happens because a system runs at a level the brand demands. That's the model. That's what we're building towards. So let me walk you through a three-part client acquisition system. This comes directly from my book, Closing the Growth Gap. It's the same architecture we implement inside every engagement. So the very first thing is the diagnostic front door. So the first mistake most expert businesses or businesses make is leading with their offer. They go straight to here's what I do, here's the price, book a call. And then they wonder why conversion is low and the calls that do happen are the wrong people. The fix is a diagnostic front door. So before anyone talks to you, before anyone gets into the sales conversation, they need to go through a structured diagnostic experience. For us, that's the gap scan. It's a free assessment that shows a founder exactly where their business is leaking momentum. Here's why this matters. When someone complete the diagnostic before they ever talk to me, three things actually happen. So this is also what should happen when you're doing this one in your own business. One, they self-qualify. The wrong fit people drop off because they see assessment is serious. Two, they arrive educated. The conversation you have with them is completely different. They're now asking or not asking what you do, but they're asking, when can we start? Three, you get information. You know what's broken before you ever get on a call. Now that's what I call leverage. Your diagnostic doesn't have to be formal assessment tool. It can be like a short quiz, a scorecard, a guided intake form. The point is there's a structured front door that filters and educate before you ever show up. So one of the amazing tool that we use is called Go High Level. Go High Level is such an amazing tool that you can actually use in the diagnostic part that you can embed, create forms, quizzes, and any other type to pre-qualify a potential lead into your business. Then that then gets connected to an automation based on their answer. You can create a sequence that targets each of the needs that they have. So for example, you have multiple type of products and services. What if they answer a certain question for this part and then they selected the service? What if it is so intentionally created good that they get such amazing experience that address their requirement once they qualify. And if they're not qualified, they might still be part of a sequence that you can still build out in the behind the scene inside Go High Level. And if you would like to learn more about Go High Level, in the description down below, I have a 30 days free trial that you can sign up. And that is surely something that you can explore and learn as you grow as a business. With this diagnostic and using the tool like Go High Level, then the automated nature bridge happen, which is going to be the part two. This is where most businesses leave money on the floor. So someone completes your diagnostic, they're warm, they're interested, and then nothing. And they get a generic thank you for your interest, email, link to your calendar. If they don't book immediately, they disappear. So the nature bridge or the nurture bridge is the automated sequence that sits between the diagnostic and the sales conversion. Its job is to do the convincing before showing up. Not convincing in a pushy way, but convincing in an educational way. So, building belief, demonstrating authority, answering the real objection before they're even ask. For a business like ours, that bridge includes like the case study or the framework walkthrough, a short video of me speaking to a specific problem they identified in the diagnostic, a piece of content from the book or a podcast that deepens the diagnostic, and a clear CTA or to book the strategic call. So if you are a business in either you're coaching, a speaker, and an author, or a traditional business, identify what other things you can give a potential lead if they haven't booked with you yet. So they can really build and nurture your audience through that way. So this entire sequence runs without me, but it is planned. It was created and planned by me. That's why we offer a blueprint mapping of systems when it comes to our services in our company. So Go High Level, a CRM and automation platform, execute it automatically. The client moves from curious to convinced before we ever speak. When I get on a call, the work is almost done. So what you need is this, a CRM, an email sequence, like 3 to 5 touch points mapped to your client specific pain points, and content you've already created, repurposed into that sequence. You probably already have a content and it just needs to be architected properly. So if you're a business that invents a lot on, for example, Reels, podcast interview, YouTube interview, or even newsletter, these are some sources that you can actually incorporate into your nurture sequence that then can be leveraged by you by giving basic information or information that your potential client can start using already. So in part number 3, the structured sales conversion. Now we get to the call. And here's where I want to challenge the way most founders approach this. Most founders treat the discovery call like an interview. The prospect asks questions, the founder answers, the conversion wonders, rapport gets built, but at the end, someone has to make a decision. And half the time, it's, I think I need to think about it. Right? So the structured sales conversion is not an interview, it's a diagnostic session. You're not here to pitch. You're there to confirm the diagnostic already revealed and show them the specific terms that gaps is costing them and what the path forward looks like. So one of the key things that I personally do is I do have a sales coach who's been helping me. She's local to me. And I have really changed the way that I have been doing this discovery call, because at the end of the day, I might be doing either marketing campaigns, strategic marketing, website, branding, system, automation, all of these things that we do within the marketing side of the front end, and the system and automation in the back end using a customer relationship management. I need to understand what is the end goal of their business, where they are at, what is their main goal, not just what the website look like. It needs to be strategic enough for me to understand whether I can really help them or not. So the structure goes like this. You open by referencing the diagnostic results. So for example, hey, I was able, based on what you told us during the gap scan, here's what stood out. You deepen the diagnostic, you ask questions, the surface of the real cause of the problem, not just the surface symptom, right? The structural costs. Like if they are not able to put out a marketing campaign for a new product that they are going to be launching on in third quarter, how much of those product will not moved and how much is a one product cost, multiply that is the cost of lost revenue if they're not going to hire us to do a marketing campaign for the product that they're going to be launching. So that is the value of hiring us, is the value of the product not moved, and that's a lost revenue for them. So just think of scenarios that you can actually do this one for your own business. So you deepen the diagnostic, you ask the question that surface the real cause of the problem, right? Like I've mentioned, and then you present the architecture, not the service menu, the solution design, and you make a clear recommendation, not the recommendation of like the services you offer, but the path that they can take based on the services that you provide. When the sales conversation is structured this way, it's not a pitch, right? It's a continuation of the diagnostic process that started the moment they filled out the front door assessment, which is a form or a survey. The close is almost a natural conclusion. So here's the key. This conversation can be trained. It can be documented. It can eventually be handed off to someone on your team because it's not dependent on your charm or your relationship. It depends on the process. So when this three part are working together, we're in you're doing a diagnostic front door, you're automated the nurture bridge, you've structured the sales conversion, you've used a tool like Go High Level, which you can actually check that one out and you get a 30-day free trial. So down in the description, go ahead and click that one. You have then a client acquisition system that runs at your level of expertise without requiring you in every step. So the right people come in pre-qualified. They arrive educated and ready. The conversion closes faster, and the process can eventually be managed by someone other than you. That's what removes you from the process, not disappearing from your business, right? Or removing yourself from every single touch point of failure in the system. So this is what I mean when I say you don't have a marketing problem, you have an architectural problem, and the architecture is fixable. If you want to see exactly where the acquisition system is breaking down, take the free gap scan. You can actually go to growthgap.co/scorecard. That should be like our scorecard that you can answer. And then if you want to book, go ahead and book a call with me. It takes a few minutes and it will show you precisely where the leak is so we can build the architecture to close it. In the link in the description, if you're ready to book a strategy conversation now, the booking link is there, and that is where we really help you out. So again, make sure that you use this three-part like system that I use or steps that I use, or whichever one you call it, because this can really help you out a lot in your business, right? So diagnose first, and then create the nurture bridge, and then create a sales structure so that you can have things documented. At the end of the day, as a business owner, we don't want to be tied up too much in our business, because the reason why we actually first created our business is to have the freedom and the flexibility that we would love to have. So if we're having a bit of a hard time detaching ourselves from our business, it's really going to be a hard thing to do. And that's why we actually get hired as part of the leadership team of a company, because we come in and take ownership of any marketing and system revenue that we are building for the business. So I hope this helps you out, and I'm so excited to bring you our next content. So I'll see you on the next one. So make sure to subscribe and follow us here on YouTube.